Well, good evening and thank you for joining tonight's webinar. Tonight's webinar is Understanding Family Assistance Office Payments. My name is Ryan Love. I'll be presenting the webinar tonight. A bit about myself. I'm a Director of Apex Partners, been a financial planner for the last 7 years and work with young families in terms of managing their finances. A couple of housekeeping things before we get going with tonight's session. First and foremost, it will be recorded, so there will be a recording made available on our website tomorrow, along with a copy of the presentation slides. So if you are after the presentation materials, they'll be available on our website tomorrow, and you will receive an email with a link to download both the recording and the presentation slides. In terms of timing, tonight's session should take approximately half an hour to run through everything. There is an opportunity for you to ask some questions. You'll see on the control panel on your screen that we have the ability to type in some questions. By all means, use that as you please, and I'll endeavour to come back to any questions at the end of tonight's session. If you've got any questions that you don't get an opportunity to ask throughout the webinar, I've got my contact details up there on the screen. If you've got something specific to yourself, I'm more than happy to answer that offline tomorrow. Before we get going, I guess another final piece of housekeeping. The information that I will be going through tonight is general information, so it doesn't necessarily apply to everyone or your own personal circumstances. If you want some information that's tailored to yourself, again, just feel free to give me a call tomorrow or send me an email, and I'll be able to give you some more specific information. But obviously the material tonight is general information only. We'll cover off the agenda and what we want to talk about. So the key topic, understanding Family Assistance Office payments. So we're really going to do a bit of a rundown on the key payments that are available to, I guess, young parents or those that are starting a family. And the first agenda item I want to talk about is choosing between the baby bonus and paid parental leave. So paid parental leave is a new scheme that came in at the start of the year, so about 6 months ago. And the baby bonus has been something that's been around for a while. Now, when you have a baby, unless you're having twins, obviously, you've got to choose between taking the baby bonus or paid parental leave. So we'll do a bit of a comparison as to what both schemes' eligibility criteria are, and then we'll have a bit of a case study and run through a couple of examples of the baby bonus and paid parental leave in comparison analysis. Then we'll introduce Family Tax Benefit Part A, so it's a government benefit that you get as being a parent, or potentially get as being a parent. And we'll also look at Family Tax Benefit Part B. So sometimes we'll abbreviate those to FTB, Family Tax Benefit A, and FTP, B. Then we'll look at the childcare benefit, the benefits you get when you're considering childcare. Look at the childcare rebate. We'll also discuss where you go to get some more information and to run some calculations for yourself. And then I'll just finish off with a bit about Apex Partners, our company, and talk about the services that we provide to families. So we'll kick off with there's a bit of information up on that table at the moment, which talks about the eligibility criteria of both the baby bonus and paid parental leave. So I'll start on the left-hand side here. So I'll talk about the baby bonus. I've abbreviated it to BB. So to be eligible to receive the baby bonus, your combined family income must be less than equal to or less than $75,000 in the 6 months following the birth of your child. So it's it sort of looks at your birth and then it's what you're going to earn after birth. So if you're going from a two-income situation down to one income, you might be eligible in that situation because you won't receive income if you're taking, say, for instance, 6 months maternity leave. It's paid via 13 instalments of $407.23 per fortnight, which is a total payment of $5,294. Importantly, the baby bonus is not taxable income, so it's just the payment that you receive from the Family Assistance Office. So it's administered through the Family Assistance Office, and it doesn't impact any other payments that you're entitled to. So things like Family Tax Benefit Part A or Part B are not impacted because it's not treated as assessable income. So that's a bit about the criteria for the baby bonus. Obviously the most obvious one is $75,000 or less combined family income in the 6 months following birth. paid parental leave. So we'll move over to this side of the table now. So paid parental leave, the person who's claiming the paid parental leave must have $150,000 or less in the financial year before birth or the financial year before making the claim. Also, there's a further eligibility criteria that you must have worked at least 10 of the 13 months prior to the birth of your child, which is just over 1 day a week. The payment, this I guess is some area of confusion, in the paid parental leave, the payment isn't your normal wage, it's actually the minimum wage, which is $570 per week, and it's paid for 18 weeks in total, which is a gross payment before tax of $10,260. Importantly, paid parental leave is taxable income, so you must have tax deducted from your paid parental leave payments, and that obviously can impact any other Family Assistance Office payments that you're entitled to that are income tested, taxable income tested. From 1st of July this year, the payment will be administered by your employer. So the employer that you worked for generally will make the payment of paid parental leave. And importantly, you cannot receive both Family Tax Benefit Part A or Part B at the same time you're receiving paid parental leave. So for that 18-week period, it's actually foregoing some, potentially foregoing some benefits there. So we'll move now into a case study. So I've got two case studies that I wanted to talk about, which really just illustrate the differences between baby bonus and paid parental leave. And sorry for being discriminatory, but I've used husband and wife in these examples just to make things easy for us. We've got husband annual income of $80,000 a year. Wife pre-birth income, so before the child was born, of $40,000 per year. The wife is pregnant with the first child due on 30th of September. Why 30 September is significant is that she'll be working 3 months in the new financial year. She's going to take 12 months maternity leave, so she's only going to work for the 3 months during that financial year. And obviously she can't decide whether to take the baby bonus or the new paid parental leave scheme. So we'll go through what the payments she would receive under both scenarios. So we'll look at the first column here. We've got the items, so the baby bonus, paid parental leave, income tax, and then we've got a couple of family tax benefits down here. We won't dwell on how those benefits are calculated, other than we need to mention those when doing a comparative analysis. And I will come back to Family Tax Benefit Part A and Family Tax Benefit Part B later in the presentation. So this column here, we've got the baby bonus. So the amount that you'll receive in the baby bonus in total is $5,294. Obviously, you can't claim both at the same time unless you've got twins. So you'll receive the baby bonus. If you're receiving the baby bonus, you won't receive any paid parental leave. Baby bonus is a non-taxable payment. So that means that you won't have any income tax deducted from the payments that you receive. And because it's non-taxable, that means that you may, under this scenario indeed, the client is eligible to receive Family Tax Benefit Part A of $999 and also Family Tax Benefit Part B of $1,873. So when we add up those benefits, the 5294, the 999, the 1873 gives a total benefit in the first financial year of $8,166. So that's what they would receive if they went down the route of accepting the baby bonus. If they opt for paid parental leave, so the new scheme that came in at the start of the year, obviously they won't receive any baby bonus payment, they forego that. Instead they receive paid parental leave of $10,260. That's the fortnightly payments of $570. That's taxable income, so it's being administered by the employer, and the employer is going to deduct tax from the amounts that you receive. So I put their income tax of $1,693, but I put an asterisk next to that. The $1,693 is the tax that is due, I guess, in the financial year given this set of circumstances. But in the asterisk down the bottom, I have noted that the employer may deduct a higher rate of tax. So if they're used to deducting tax based on your normal wage, given it's only just taking off as a new scheme, we're not sure whether they're going to deduct your normal rate of tax, which would be slightly higher. But in the instance that they were to deduct a higher rate of tax, you would get that refunded as part of your income tax return come the end of the financial year. So $1,693 is the right number given the case study that we've got. In this scenario, we've got Family Tax Benefit Part A as nil. The reason why Family Tax Benefit Part A is nil in this scenario is because this is taxable income. The paid parental leave is taxable income. It takes the couple's income for that financial year over and above the cut-off threshold. So that's an important consideration. Family Tax Benefit Part B is reduced, partly because you cannot receive Family Tax Benefit Part B whilst receiving the baby bonus, but also because this is taxable income, so it obviously reduces your Family Tax Benefit Part B entitlement. So we add up the total benefits under paid parental leave, $10,260 less the tax. Add back the Family Tax Benefit Part B, it's $8,792 as a total benefit. Now, the reason why I put that up there, obviously, is because when paid parental leave came in, I guess there was a huge issue and people thought it was a really good scheme, and don't get me wrong, it is a very good scheme. However, the difference isn't as big as what most people expect it to be. So you can see with the raw numbers, the before tax numbers, or the amounts that you receive, the baby bonus $5,294, that's cash paid to you. The paid parental leave is $10,260, seems like it's going to always outbeat taking the baby bonus. But in this scenario, you can see it's only a few $100s, the difference, so it can be quite marginal. So that's the key reason why I wanted to put up that case study. By and large, in most situations, the paid parental leave scheme will result in a better outcome than accepting the baby bonus. But just to illustrate, I will go through a case study too, whereby the actual baby bonus gives a better result than taking paid parental leave. So it's a bit of a unique or extreme case, but we will go through it nevertheless just to illustrate the point before moving on to what the other benefits are. So in this situation, case study 2, we've got the husband has no income, so he's not working. The wife has got pre-birth income of $150,000 exactly. She's pregnant with the first child due 31st of January, so 7 months working throughout the financial year. And she's taking maternity leave for the 18 weeks only that the paid parental leave would be paid. Why that is significant, because if she's taking paid parental leave for the 18 weeks only, you can't receive Family Tax Benefit A or B whilst receiving paid parental leave. Therefore, that won't be included. And naturally can't decide whether to take paid parental leave or the baby bonus. So in this situation, as I mentioned, probably a little bit extreme, because we've got a situation where the husband's not making any income at all, and the wife's making $150,000 and electing not to work or take maternity leave for 18 weeks. So obviously there's some obvious cash flow issues that need to be addressed there, but nevertheless, we'll go through the difference. So in this situation, we've got the baby bonus. This column here, $5,294 is received. And then we've also got Family Tax Benefit Part A, $555 would be received in the financial year. And Family Tax Benefit Part B, $1,477 would be received. So the total benefits under that scenario is $7,326. If we move to the paid parental leave situation, we've got paid parental leave of $10,260, less income tax. Now obviously this client in this situation earns $150,000 prorated for the 7 months of the financial year. That's a reasonably high rate of income, and the tax rate on that income is relatively high. Therefore, the tax rate of tax deducted is also relatively high. Because it's only over that 18-week period, there is going to be no Family Tax Benefit Part A and no Family Tax Benefit Part B. So just to illustrate the point, the total benefit under this arrangement will be $6,310 versus $7,326 with the baby bonus. The reason why I wanted to go through that was really just to illustrate that it's not always as simple as you think. So it's not always a case of the paid parental leave being by far and away the best outcome for you. And look, in 90% of cases that I see come across my desk, by all means, paid parental leave gives a better outcome than baby bonus. But there are situations, as illustrated in that second case study, whereby paid parental leave isn't going to give you the best outcome. And conversely, I guess even in the first case study, which is probably a more realistic sort of income case study, you do see a situation, I guess, whereby the benefit isn't as significant as one would expect it to be. So now I want to sort of move on. We've covered choosing between baby bonus and paid parental leave. I will tell you where you can sort of run your own calculations. There's a very good website that you can run your own calculations to compare. But if you do need help comparing, obviously I can help go through the difference for you. the key thing that you've got to, I guess, consider is what your general situation is. But if you do need help with your own situation, by all means,